you have a duty to intervene.
Yes.
Even if that means intervening with your fellow officers when you see excessive force. Is that right?
Yes.
Today, we are going inside the courtroom to hear what former police officer Desmond Mills has to say. And he actually confessed to beating Tyree Nichols with a baton. A great example of corrupt police officers taking over law enforcement. But the court is here to put a stop to it all.
Familiar with sort of a large neighborhood, neighborhood's not the right word, area of Memphis called Hickory Hill?
Yes.
Ridgeway is part of Hickory Hill?
Yes.
All right. And what, are there businesses in Hickory Hill?
Yes, a lot of businesses.
And there's places to eat?
Yes.
And there's also neighborhoods with residential houses?
Yes.
And is this the area that y'all have been sent to that night?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead.
And he was handcuffed in the backseat of my car.
And this is where Mills confesses the things that occurred that night and the pure brutality they showed Tyree Nichols.
And then, right before me and Bean were about to search his vehicle, we heard on the radio an officer keyed up said they had one resist. He's been pepper sprayed and tased, and now he's running.
All right, so someone has resisted,
Yes.
pepper sprayed and tased and running.
Yes.
Okay.
And naturally, when you hear that come across the radio as an officer, you're supposed to go and help your fellow officers because you don't know what's going on over there. So when we heard it, we released the guy we had. It was just a minor offense. And we got into my car, and then we drove to the area where the location that they put out. And when we got over there, the stop was some Ross and Rains. Traffic stop was Ross and Rains. And
How far away from Ross and Rains were y'all? Or how long did it take you? I'm not really asking for, I don't care about the distance, but.
it wasn't too far, maybe a mile and a half or two more.
Okay.
It wasn't too far. And we got there, they said that Miss Nichols went southbound on Ross. So I turned down Ross, me and Bean, we start driving down Ross, took a first left, and it was a residential neighborhood, and we drove all around the neighborhood, and we didn't see Mr. Nichols. And when I pulled out to continue to go southbound on Ross, as I was driving, I just looked in my rearview mirror, and then I saw Miss Nichols just like appear right there in the road, and I said, "Bean, I think that's him." I turned around. I said, "Hey, what was the description of Miss Nichols?" He said it, and then we rolled the window down to talk to him. And as soon as he said, "Hey," Miss Nichols took off running, and that's when Bean got in the car first. He started chasing him.
Would it be fair, let me interrupt you, would it be fair to say that whatever description y'all are given of Mr. Nichols, did that person match that description?
Yes, and he was wiping his face. And he was wiping his face, I think with a shirt or something. And so Bean took off running. I got out of the car. I started running. And I turned back because I forgot to lock the car. I locked the car, and then by the time I turned around, I didn't see Bean or Miss Nichols no more. So I just started running, and then I seen where they went up another street. I don't know the name of that street. And then that's when I saw Bean again, Mr. Nichols, and I seen it was Smith's car. And then there was some residents outside, and I asked them what's the name of the street because I didn't know where I was. They gave me the name of the street, and then I put it on dispatch, and then I ran up with the rest of the other, with Bean, Smith, and Mr. Nichols.
So you put it on dispatch, meaning you said on the radio where y'all were at?
Yes, so radio. And then I ran up there and I immediately pepper sprayed him.
Well, when you run up there, what do you see? Who's doing what?
I see Dean and Smith. They're holding Mr. Nichols.
Is Mr. Nichols standing up or is he on the ground?
He was on the ground. He was on the ground.
Okay.
He was on the ground. And I pulled out the pepper spray and I sprayed again. And I sprayed him 2 times. It wasn't working. And the 3rd time I tried to
Did you say it wasn't working or wasn't worth it? I couldn't hear you.
No, I sprayed and it just wasn't working.
Wasn't working?
Yeah, it wasn't working. And then I sprayed the 3rd time, and the 3rd time I sprayed myself. And then when I sprayed myself, I backed away from Mr. Nichols, Bean, and Smith. And I was trying to collect my thoughts. Because when you get sprayed, you really can't see that, but you can't see it.
Had you been sprayed directly in the eyes?
Yes. I sprayed myself directly in the eye. And I backed away. I was trying to collect myself. And then
Anyone that truly knows this case is aware that he wasn't really collecting himself. So he gets mad that he pepper sprayed himself, so it's okay to beat Tyree with a baton? What a joke! And more importantly, what a cruel monster.
And then at that time, it was Bean, Smith, and I believe Martin was there now.
And let me interrupt you because we did this with Mr. Bain. We need to do it with everybody. I think you've already identified him, but can you tell me where Mr. Smith is seated in the courtroom?
Seat 1.
The record could reflect he's identified Justice Smith.
So reflected.
Smith and Bean and Emmett Martin?
Yes.
So at this point, it is those 3. Is Mr. Nichols still on the ground?
Yes.
And you had sprayed yourself and you're attempting to collect yourself?
Yes. And I heard the officers kept saying, give me hands, give me hands. And because I sprayed myself, I became angry and I used my baton. I pulled my baton out and I approached.
Now, talking to you right now in this courtroom, you seem pretty mild-mannered. How angry did you become?
To pull the baton out, I sprayed myself, so I couldn't see. It made me angry.
Okay. What you did?
And then I pulled the baton out and I approached Mr. Nichols and I told him, I said I was gonna effing baton you. And I told the officers who were in the way to move. I said move. And then I used the baton on Mr. Nichols 3 times on his right arm. And then I stopped. And
Now, had you been trained in the use of this baton?
yes.
If he was truly trained to use it, why be so aggressive with it like it's a toy? Mills should be ashamed to ever call himself a police officer. The lineage and reputation of Memphis police goes down the drain. They are supposed to protect us, not retaliate on citizens with anger.
Now, with regard just to the physical way in which you struck Mr. Nichols, just in regard to where you struck Mr. Nichols, was that consistent with your training?
Yes, it was.
Okay. As part of your training, were you trained when to use a baton and when not to?
Yes.
Are you supposed to use it because you're angry at somebody?
No.
He's asking all the right questions. There's no excuse for Mills's behavior for what he did.
You struck him 3 times where?
On his right arm.
Did he react to that?
No.
Physically, where is he at when you're striking him?
He had right arm was on the ground and left arm was up, and he kind of was like a knee in the ground, maybe I would say.
Okay, so sort of half up, half down.
Yes.
Were Bean and Smith still there with him?
I think it was Smith was holding his arm at that time.
Was Bean still there?
Yeah, he was still in the area.
Now, when you had collected yourself, did you know that Emmett Martin had soccer kicked him to the head?
No.
Did you know that Emmett Martin had kicked him even a second time to the head?
No.
Did you know that when he soccer kicked him both times that Bean and Smith were there holding him down?
No, I didn't learn the kicks until I watched the video.
And what video are you talking about?
The incident with Mr. Nichols.
I understand the incident, but which video? Do you understand what I'm asking?
Yeah, the Sky Cop camera. I think it is.
Sky Cop camera. Now, you had a body camera on, is that correct?
Yes.
And some of the others had body cameras on, is that correct? Or do you know?
We're all supposed to.
All supposed to.
Yes.
Some did.
I didn't hear it.
Some did. Some did have body cameras on.
Yeah, I think, yes. I think we all.
The Sky Cop camera is something different, though. Is that right?
Yes.
When did you find out that that Sky Cop camera was up there on the pole? When did you find out that was there?
When I got back to the office that night.
Afterwards.
Yes, afterwards.
So you didn't know it was there at the time?
No.
Tell us about after the 3 baton strikes.
And this is where they ask Mills about the baton strikes. Honestly, a horrible situation all around. Tyree Nichols didn't deserve to go out like that. It's very disturbing.
After that, I stopped, and then the pepper spray is reactivating itself again. Until you wash it out, it keeps activating on and off. And I was just standing there, and then my eyes were shut, and I heard the thump sound. And I heard after the second one, that's when I peeked with my eyes open, and I looked over, and I seen Martin was punching Mr. Nichols.
Did you see what Mr. Bean and Mr. Smith were doing?
They were just holding his hand, holding his arm.
Was Tyree standing?
Yes, he's standing at this point, yes.
Was Mr. Bean on one hand and Mr. Smith on the other?
Yes.
And Mr. Martin was hit
Yes.
hard?
Yes. And after I peeked and looked, I was wondering, so why is he punching him? And then I didn't want to look no more because it didn't look good. And
You said it doesn't look good. What do you mean?
the way how he was punching Mr. Nichols.
Looked like it wasn't right.
Correct.
Looked like it could really hurt him.
Correct.
Had you heard Tyree make any threats to you?
No, I don't recall no threats.
We heard you said something about, I'm gonna effing baton you. Is that correct?
Yes.
Did you hear anybody else there make any threats?
No, I can't recall. No.
Did you ever hear anybody there say, hit him?
When I watched the video, that's when I heard the hit him.
Okay. And we're gonna watch the videos, so that'll be the appropriate time, I guess, for me to ask you about that.
Okay.
Okay. Mr. Martin's hit Mr. Bean Smith at his side. What happens next?
I believe after when I couldn't look no more, and then after that, I believe that's when he was taken into custody.
Now, you're not a small man. Would you agree with me?
I agree.
Is Mr. Martin bigger than you?
Just taller.
Just taller?
Yes.
Who is the smallest person out there that night?
Officer or anybody?
Anybody?
Mr. Nichols.
Mr. Nichols. Did you ever see Mr. Nichols throw a punch?
No.
Did you ever see Mr. Nichols try to karate kick anybody?
No.
Did you ever see Mr. Nichols produce a weapon?
No.
When you said that what you saw Mr. Martin doing with Mr. Bean and Mr. Smith at his side, when you said it was wrong, well, you're doing something wrong right then too, aren't you?
Yes.
What's your duty as a police officer when you see something like that?
Stop Mr. Martin.
You gotta try to stop it, don't you?
Yes.
You take an oath to be a police officer, don't you?
Yes.
You understand that you have a duty to intervene,
Yes.
even if that means intervening with your fellow officers when you see excessive force. Is that right?
Yes.
Except in the moment, none of them cared about excessive force. Their goal was to end his life, and we actually get a glimpse of how brutal these officers can be.
And you see the car there. Whose car is that?
Mr. Nichols' car?
Mr. Nichols' car. Can you see that there? Can you tell who that is at Mr. Nichols' door there?
That's Martin.
Place him.
This is not okay, and it's become so normal for cops to be brutal and use excessive force that nobody even bats an eye when cases like this land on the news. In the saddest way possible, it's become the new normal. So of course, police think stuff like this is okay. The wickedness of these officers to continue treating him like that when he was willing to comply. The whole court is watching the body cams.
Who was I talking to?
Martin.
Good right now? You got anything in your eyes?
Who is that we could hear on the radio?
That was me.
That's you?
Yes.
Okay. And what are you saying on the radio there?
Southbound on Ross.
Okay. Is this after y'all found him?
Yes.
Southbound his ass.
I hope they stop his ass.
Hemp Hill.
I hope they stop his ass. Smith was going for other cars because he was hard to chase him.
Does Smithville ever come to the second scene where Mr. Nichols is beat to death?
No, not while I was there.
Let me remind you that Tyree Nichols was only 29 years old. He had a whole life ahead of him, but due to these ignorant officers, his life was taken away too soon.
I tased him and then we sprayed. Okay. I think they're fixing to bring him over here because they're further down there when he took off running.
So, I mean, you know what
I know.
So, did you call or?
Bro, we called him.
But you the one that got sprayed? Yeah. Or was it for the patient?
It was for the suspect. Now, it's just anyway. No, we were on the ground and I probably said I'm spraying him. It's just spraying all of us.
So they took the patient away and bring him back?
He took off running, they just got him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So y'all need us or I'm confused?
Well, one of the prongs did hit him with the tasers. I don't know if you guys need to take it out, look at it. Hell, I don't even know if it's still out.
We do it.
Yeah. Just to cover our hands, we just talk to you guys.
Okay. You got the suspect?
I can see who it is. Yeah, they got him down there. My partner pepper sprayed me and I tased the dude.
Are we good or?
2938. Does the fire department need to come down to you or are you bringing it back down here?
And now time to witness the poll camera as they pull it up in front of the court.
There's actually a second poll cam in this neighborhood, is that correct?
Yes.
The 6705 Ross Ridge in this neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay. We're going to look in this area here. We're going to see a person. It appears to be Tyree Nichols. That does not appear to be a police car, does it?
No.
Still on these cars. This does appear to be a police car, doesn't it? Or could you tell?
I can't tell to see the tail lights.
Individual is crouched down sort of between the two cars.
Yes.
And they just walks away.
Yeah.
Did you drive down the street?
Yes.
Could that have even been your car, that second car?
Possibly.
Yeah, hard to tell.
Yeah, I can't tell.
If you were driving down the street, did you see Tyree Nichols over there in the yard or crouching down between those cars?
No.
Mills is not standing trial with his ex-police officer co-workers after taking a plea deal. As for Tyree, it's a damn shame how unlawful these cops truly were and cut a life way too short. And from the worst police officers known to mankind to the worst parents ever.
I've done a lot of drugs in my life, and I've never felt anything like I did last night.
The little girl's gone. Have any questions for me?
My kids okay?
This is 34-year-old Music Adami. Just hours prior to this footage, Music and her boyfriend, Matthew Bynum, woke up to police inside their trash-filled trailer home. They were unable to move and could barely speak.
What's going on?
I can't sit upright. I'm just really stiff.
What makes this even more terrifying was that lying under the couple was their daughter, Zakiline. On March 10th, 2024, Thaddeus Hawkins would wake up to a terrifying scene. He was staying on the property of Music and Matthews, living in his own truck. However, Matthew would scramble to get up after hearing screaming coming from inside the family's trailer home just feet away. He would bust open the door to find the couple and their 2 children stiff and unable to move. As he looked closer, he noticed their daughter extremely pale and without a pulse. As he went to call 911, Music told him everything was fine and that help wasn't needed. But Thaddeus could tell Music was clearly delusional in her current state and decided to take matters into his own hands, calling 911.
Grant County 911, what is the address of your emergency?
97 Quail Run.
Okay, tell me exactly what happened.
I have no idea. I'm staying with some friends right now, and they are completely. You have a little girl who's not responsive at all. To the adult, the parents are somewhat responsive, but not. They're in and out of. And then they have a 7-year-old boy who is mostly responsive. I was able to get him on a chair, but I don't know what's going on.
Okay.
I really don't.
And are you staying in the same house?
No. I'm just on the property.
Okay. What is your name?
My name is Thaddeus Hawkins. I woke up and I heard someone yelling, "Ow, help!" And so I went in. I was trying to help him.
Okay. And what room is he in?
It's kind of like a one living area type of thing right now, but he's in the same area as them. They're all in the same tiny home area.
Okay. Give me a second while I get them started on their way. Okay.
This tragedy would take place in a deserted area far from any civilization, so even though Deputy Orozco rushed to the scene, it would unfortunately be far too late.
What's going on?
Some of the people in the home right here that aren't responding.
They're not responding?
There's one that's not responding.
Who's here? Sheriff's office!
Yeah.
What's going on?
Not much. Sorry, I'm really stiff this morning. I can't sit upright.
Are you guys on anything?
No.
No? What?
No, I'm just really stiff.
When Orozco first entered the home, he would notice a foul odor coming from it due to the trash and unhygienic nature of the home. Additionally, he noticed a metal container over a tub with ashes, something seemingly irrelevant now, but something that would help solve the case later on.
What's wrong with them?
He's tired, I think.
Is he awake?
He is awake. He moved from here over to there. He is awake.
Who's not responsive?
Not responsive.
The girl in the middle.
The girl, she's responsive.
Let me see.
Yeah.
You guys need to move.
Yes.
Move. You guys need to get up now.
Yeah.
Get up.
We're getting up.
Get up.
We're getting up. I'm getting up.
Let's go. Hurry up. Get up.
I'm going.
You guys need to get out.
Yes, sir.
Stand up.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Stand up. Get up. Hurry up.
Hey, sir.
You need to get up.
Got it.
Good at 10-7.
Where?
Right here.
Who, kid?
Move. Get up. Yes.
Get up now! Get out! Get out! I don't care. Stand up.
I'm going.
How long, Hondo?
Check
his vitals. Did y'all smoke?
Huh? No.
What is it?
No, it's not. No, we just fell asleep really hard. We're really stiff.
755 for him.
What's going on? Was it?
So unit calling, you're very 10-1.
Get out.
I'm not calling 8.
Stand up. Come on. Give me your hands.
Where is this going?
Stand up! Now!
Okay.
I'm not gonna tell you again! Stand up!
I'm standing up. I'm trying to.
Give me the other arm.
Yeah. Ow!
While Music and Matthew are being placed in handcuffs, Deputy Orozco would perform CPR on the daughter, Zachaline. Unfortunately, it would be too late, and she would pass away that night. Fortunately, their son would be rescued from the home with only minor injuries and would be transported to the hospital. But one crucial question remained. What had caused Music and Matthew to be so incoherent that they had no idea their daughter was deceased just inches away from them?
Extremely confused. So no offense. What about me? Right, just be honest with me because I need to be able to treat your kids.
Let me get up, okay? Stand up. Sit down. Sit up, come on. Thank you.
What did you take?
I don't remember taking anything.
How long have you been out?
Last night was the last time that you were okay.
Last time I was okay. We were laying in the bed there. Had to split all the oats.
Okay, what the hell did you take, bro? What did you take?
I didn't take anything.
What do you guys have then?
I don't have anything.
You want to take him to the unit?
We'll get that once EMS checks on vitals.
We'll take him. Let's take one at a time. I don't know if he can walk.
He needs to get seen first.
Okay, so we don't know exactly what they took. They're both confused. They don't want to say anything. We have 110-7, 5-year-old.
Yeah.
Another one, bad condition. He was unconscious, I believe, when they got here. And she was also in bad condition when they got here. But our detectives are on their way right now, so we're just securing everything.
She good? Let's go. Stand up. What's your name?
Music.
Huh?
Music.
All right, stand up, Music, and place your hands behind your back, okay?
I can't really stand it very well.
Let's go, hurry up.
I don't know what it is. I'm trying.
Turn around.
Give me your other hand.
You have to. Sorry.
Come on.
I'm trying. I'm really trying.
The scene is extremely strange, to the point where the officers have never seen anything like it. Music claims she hasn't taken any drugs since yesterday, yet neither of them are even able to walk or collect their thoughts. Something odd is going on, and detectives at the scene need to get to the bottom of it.
You awake?
Yeah.
Are you good?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I'm not sure.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
He's not feeling too good. I don't know if you guys want to check him out again. He's leaning to the side and he says he's not feeling too good.
Your dad? Hello? What's going on?
Nothing.
You said you don't feel good?
Yeah. Lightheaded.
Lightheaded?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, can you tell me what your name is? Do you mind if we just check your vitals one more time?
I took a needle off of her. It's right there. It's all burnt up. Still ash marks on her sweater. The door was already open. I seen the parents laying down, and I seen the son. He didn't look responsive. I didn't see him until I asked him. I said, "What's going on?" I looked left. He's just sitting on the chair, all lethargic. I was like, "What's wrong with him?" And I saw him moving and breathing, so I was like, "Okay." So I went to go check on him. I was all, "Who's not responsive?" And then she goes, the mom goes, "I don't think she is." And I looked, and they're on top of her. I didn't even see him. Like half of his left body was on her left side, half of her right body was on her other side. So she moved, and I looked at the kid, and I looked at her, and it was just, she was already gone.
While Music was being transported to the hospital, she revealed that her and Matthew had smoked amphetamine the day before, and that this was a regular occurrence. Even more disturbing was that the day before was Zachy Line's birthday. A birthday spent surrounded by filth as she watched her parents drown themselves in drugs. Despite the sickening nature of this, the amphetamine alone does not explain Music and Matthew's inability to walk or perform basic human functions. While a very strong drug, amphetamines do not have this type of effect on users, meaning the drugs she had taken were likely laced, with something. With this in mind, police turned to the one seemingly only sober person at the residence, Thaddeus, the man who originally called 911.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Why am I being arrested?
You're not being arrested, you're being detained. Turn around.
Why?
Because you're up here and there's a kid, that's why.
Kid?
Yeah.
I wasn't even in the house until
I don't care.
Called. I didn't know she was. I really didn't. That's why I called. I didn't know what.
Look, wait until they read you your rights, then you can start talking.
Thank you.
Thaddeus would be taken to the Grant County Sheriff's Office, where a few hours from now he would undergo an intense interview with detectives. But officers back at the scene still needed to figure out what was going on, so they would engage music to get her side of the story and determine what could have caused this tragedy to happen in the first place. And music would reveal far more than they could have asked for. But before we get to that, I want to tell you about the best earbuds I've ever used. If you're like me, then you love listening to true crime podcasts. Maybe at work, at a cafe, or on the train. I do it while I'm on the bus to work, but there's one problem with that. The noise. There's babies crying, people shouting, and normal earbuds just don't work no matter how much I turn them up. That's when I did some research and discovered the Raycon Everyday Earbuds. Their noise cancellation is better than any earbuds I've ever tried. They have a playtime of 8 hours of straight listening, and if you run out of juice, you can recharge an hour and a half of listening in only 10 minutes. It even works with wireless charging. They also have protective covers allowing you to customize their look just how you want it. And the best part, they're very affordable. So head over to buyraycon.com/DrInsanity to get 15% off site-wide. That's right, you'll get 15% off everything on Raycon's website when you go to buyraycon.com/DrInsanity. With that said, let's get back to the case. Officers are just about to interview Music about what went down just hours earlier. At this point in time, Music claims she had no idea her daughter is dead.
Diabetes, seizures, strokes.
I have had seizures before because I got a minor nasocranial fracture.
No issue at all with what's being said, and actually it lines up. But there was one key detail that completely turns around everything we know about this case.
Music. I have an ID.
You have heart problems?
Not that I know of, but I have been having a lot of episodes where my both arms will be super numb when I wake up in the morning. But nothing like last night. Last night I couldn't sit up because it was excruciating. And my kids were all floppy, like, we all were all floppy. I can't explain it. I don't have any idea. I don't know how my kids would have gotten it. We were at their birthday party all day. Like, we did not have on us at the birthday party.
This is a lie. Notice how Music stumbles on her sentence after she realizes she shouldn't admit to taking any drugs at the birthday party. It's unclear why she felt the need to lie here, considering just minutes ago, she admitted to taking methamphetamine at the party. Regardless, she would be transported to the hospital, where her confusion would only continue to grow.
She couldn't sit up. I have no idea. Like, I've done a lot of drugs, and nothing has ever been like that. And I don't know what it was, but I do want a toxicology to know if something is going on. Everybody that was at the party, I trusted.
Are you going to be her nurse? Okay. So just real quick, I don't know if you're aware of her situation, what's going on. So if she brings anything up, she hasn't questioned anything yet, so let's just ignore it. So she doesn't know anything at all. She doesn't know that her kids yet. So let's just, if she does say anything, just ignore it.
My kids have been feeling really weird. All we had to eat in bed last night was some chocolate cake that we got for my daughter for her birthday. I do smoke weed, and the last time I jumped to Jenny's is at, well, they're approximately 12:30.
Okay.
Before we head out to the park for her birthday party. And it's probably going to ask if I can see my dad. We talked to him, I just want to see him.
I can't let you leave this room.
It seems like Music is a loving and caring mother, and this whole thing was a tragic accident. However, do not let her manipulation fool you. Just listen to what her son had to say when speaking with medics.
How's he doing?
He's good.
He is?
Said he hasn't eaten since Friday. So.
For reference, the current day is Sunday, meaning her son hasn't eaten food in over 48 hours, even while celebrating his sister's birthday. It's clear music isn't telling the whole truth, something that would remain a constant theme throughout this entire investigation.
Kind of got a little bit of a mess right now.
Yeah.
So we're working through it a little bit at a time. The reason I'm here, I wonder if I could take some pictures of you.
Yes, that's fine.
Thank you so much.
Are you the detective?
I am.
Are you the one that will also be getting a toxicology report? Because I need one. I know I've done a lot of drugs in my life, and I've never felt anything like I did last night. It was completely bizarre.
Well,
and all that we had was the chocolate cake that we bought at Albertsons just before bed. We ate one more slice of chocolate cake.
And what was it that you felt last night?
Last night, I just felt like I couldn't hold myself up. Like, I kept falling into the wall. My kids kept falling into the wall.
You're weak, you were dizzy.
All
how
of
so?
the above.
You have any questions for me?
Are my kids okay?
Your kids are okay right now.
Yeah?
Okay. Yeah, it's one of your kids is here right now, but I'll talk to you about this more here in a little bit, okay?
The officer at this point is fully aware of Zakiline's death, but for the sake of keeping the investigation as controlled as possible, he decides to refrain from telling Music that her daughter passed away. Fortunately, just across the hall, nurses work to rescue Music's older child. He's not doing well, but thankfully he's alive.
Try to get it to pee, but you could have
You could have won.
But we on his leg. So we're gonna do a leg x-ray and then they need to go on his chest.
You want another blanket?
Any findings so far?
Okay, let me get you another blanket.
This claim from the nurse adds even more complexity to the entire case. She said the boy wasn't able to put pressure on his legs, just like his parents earlier in the day. This adds the variable that perhaps something else caused the family to become sick and handicapped, something that had nothing to do with the drugs they had taken. Hours would pass as Music recovered in the hospital and nurses helped her son. She would then be transported to the sheriff's office along with Matthew. It's at this point that officers decided it was best to, at last, break the devastating news to the couple that their daughter had died.
When we have a death occur, we treat every death as if it's a homicide until we can prove otherwise, whether it's someone, old person dying in their bed or what have you. So just for those reasons, we're going to take some pictures, okay?
Who died?
What's that?
Who died?
The little girl's gone. Okay. So we're going to have you stand up. Officer Carrasco is going to remove your handcuffs. We're going to take some pictures, okay?
Stand up, sir.
Give him a minute.
Well, you guys were waking me up. She was talking.
So, Mr. Bynum, here in a while, we're going to have a conversation about that, okay? But I know you're going to need a little time.
Wait for representation.
Okay, you're going to want a lawyer?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, then let's take some pictures and then we can get you back to the cell for now, okay?
They would allow Matthew to break the news to Music in a private area without cameras. However, as it would turn out, Matthew was too afraid to break the news and saved it for a detective later on.
You guys are free to go. You guys are free to go. You just can't go back to the house.
Go back to the house right now.
Yeah.
So.
You know.
Well, he doesn't know. That's what I'm telling him.
I don't know.
Okay, yeah. So you can't go back to the house. You guys are free to go. You guys' phones. She
I
understands
only have one phone.
the phone.
Yeah.
You guys come back tomorrow and get with the detectives in the morning.
The couple would roam free following this news, but without a home, they would live out on the streets for the night. Detectives, on the other hand, had a crucial question to answer. What could have possibly caused all of this to happen? As of now, nothing makes sense. A child was dead, and an answer had to be found. Fortunately, detectives had a plan to find the answers they were looking for. Remember Thaddeus, the guy on the scene who called 911? Thaddeus was the only person with the family the night prior, and seemingly the only coherent one out of the group. If anyone could explain what had happened, it would be him. With this, he would be brought to the station directly after Music and Matthew left, where officers would conduct their first formal interview of the case.
Sorry about that. Got a lot going on right now. All right, so I'm going to read this to you. It's an advice of your rights. It's going to take you to investigative detention, okay? Yeah. Considering the matter at hand. Yeah.
The detective would go on to read Thaddeus his rights. It's important to know that detectives do consider Thaddeus a potential suspect. The goal of this interview is not only to determine whether or not Music and Matthew are guilty, but if Thaddeus could have played a role in Zachy Line's death.
I saw that you were the 911 caller. Yes, but before we get into that, let's start in the morning. So how did the morning start?
Well, I don't know if you saw the red van there or not with the dogs in it barking. That's where I'm trying to convert that into a little trailer. That's where I was sleeping. I woke up and I thought I heard the kids playing around outside, and then I realized that someone was yelling out from inside the tiny home, and I didn't know why. So I got out of the van and I went and I checked. There was music. Matt was kind of laying near music, that almost on top of Zachy, little girl. So that's what I decided to call 911.
So let's just kind of backtrack it a little bit. So you heard music yelling. So you hear that. You walk to the door. You go to the door and you open the door and you see Zach, you said? Zachy. And music laying on what? Well, that was on the bed. Zachy was kind of half on, half off, and music was not on the bed at all.
So far, Thaddeus's recollection of events is accurate to what officers observed when they got onto the scene. He would go on to say that Music and Matthew don't consume or smoke any kind of drug other than marijuana. We know this is a lie, as Music herself admitted to taking methamphetamine the day prior, meaning Thaddeus's statements need to be taken with a grain of salt. However, none of this would matter, as the detective would ask a single question that, quite literally, would change the trajectory of the entire case.
How did they get the house?
It's a propane heater on the wall, yes. But last night, a few nights ago, the propane ran out, and they had taken it off to go get propane, but never got it to the propane tip.
Did they ever start fires in the house?
No, they don't start fires in the house. They go and I thought you saw the coals in the bathtub.
Yeah.
So that was where they went and they burned wood and brought it in once it was coals and no smoke left.
Yeah, because that's what I saw. I saw that and I was like, well, maybe we could be looking at carbon monoxide here too.
It was. I don't think it would have been, because last night they might have used wood the coals to heat it, but it's probably not likely.
Despite what Thaddeus claims, this theory makes a lot of sense. If the family used coal to keep the house warm, the fumes could be potentially deadly. Burning coal releases carbon monoxide, a colorless, odorless gas that can cause poisoning. Inhalation of carbon monoxide prevents oxygen from binding to hemoglobin in the blood, leading to oxygen deprivation in tissues and organs. This can cause headache, dizziness, nausea, confusion, and in severe cases, loss of consciousness and death. The exact symptoms of everyone inside the home. If the trailer was fully sealed, meaning no windows or doors were open, then this could certainly have been what killed Zachy Line. This is something officers would investigate later on in the night, but for now, this is just a theory, and the detective still needs to try and determine whether or not Thaddeus is lying about Matthew and Music's drug use, or if something even more sinister had taken place. To do this, he decides to relay the significance of this case to Thaddeus by letting him know that Zachy Line had passed away.
Zachy.
Wow. Did not know that.
Zachy's gone. That's why all of this is happening.
Yeah.
Okay, because we need to figure out how in the heck this even came to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know last time we talked a lot about doing the right thing and this and that.
Yeah.
I mean, that situation that you're in, definitely a good time to do that, right?
Right.
I can't even think of a situation where it would be more important to know what's going on than right now. I'm not the kind of cop that likes to get people caught up. That's not why I do this. That's not why I'm here. Right now, seeing her covered up, seeing her afterwards. Like, I'm not lying. Like, it knocked me down. I cried for a good long while.
I saw you walking away from the ambulance crying.
Yeah.
I didn't know why.
Yeah, it got a lot worse after that. Right now, my job is to do right by Zachy and by the best I can by understanding what's going on. I mean, and like I said, sometimes things happen. Sometimes people kill other people on purpose.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's accidental or things go too far. There's a million reasons why something could happen, why something could come to be, right? And sometimes there's little details of things that happen that end up meaning a lot down the road. Like you could be like, well, I noticed this, or I did see that, or I overheard whatever, or I had this feeling, or something that smelled right and something, right? So sometimes those things can lead to having a greater understanding. So is there anything of that nature regarding anyone that was there at any time that could have led potentially to that?
I only ever heard Music and Matt argue, but it was usually when Matt was super tired and stayed up all night gathering wood and stuff. And then the truck would break down or something would go wrong and he didn't. And it's common for that to happen, but it was never around the kids. They never did anything around the kids, and they loved them so much.
Is there anything that stands out to you about what happened that could explain what's going on here?
Oh, I mean, what stood out was Zachy's face, how pale it was, or that's what they called it.
It seems clear that Thaddeus genuinely doesn't think Music and Matthew had any intentions to hurt their daughter, and if they had taken drugs that night, he wasn't aware of it. The mystery of what happened is still as confusing as ever, and the only possible cause officers could think of was the burning coal. So with this in mind, they would report back to the trailer later that night to investigate this possibility.
Reporting for us?
Yep.
So I'm sure they went over this several times with you, but boy was somewhere in this region. Dad was laying here, decedent here, and then mom off to the side. And then when Thaddeus came in, he saw them here. She was super pale. For some reason, moved him to this chair, and then came back, and then that's when he started calling 911. Girl could have gotten sick. I mean, living like this, you know, gets a little bit of a cold or something, and there you go. She had any kind of immunocompromise.
So they said that she got sick and threw up?
The mom was like, I've done a lot of drugs in my life. She goes, I occasionally do meth and weed, but I don't do heroin, nothing like that, and I've never felt like I did last night ever in my life.
It seemed like the case was quite clear at this point. The carbon monoxide poisoning was too much for Zachy Lyne's body to handle, and she passed. All they had to do was find a way to factually prove that there were high levels of carbon monoxide in the trailer, and their case would be closed. A post-mortem toxicology analysis would be conducted on Zachy Lyne specifically designed to identify carboxyhemoglobin saturation. Normal carboxyhemoglobin levels are generally up to 3.5% in non-smokers and up to 8% in smokers. When Zachy Lyne's result came back, it showed a 70% saturation. It was far too much to survive. The coal fumes had killed her. The next day, detectives would bring back both Music and Matthew to the station. Matthew insisted